Hello everyone and welcome to another video on the Ordinary Boy Boxing channel. Now in today's video, this is my quick pick for the upcoming fight between Jake Paul and Tommy Fury. The fight goes down on February the 26th, 2023 in Saudi Arabia. Both men will fight at a catch weight of 185 pounds. The fight will be shown on BT Sport Box Office in the UK and ESPN Plus pay-per-view in America. The previous three for both men, so Tommy Fury, he's currently 8-0 with 4 knockouts. His last 3 opponents was Daniel Bolinowski, who he beat by points, decision, Anthony Taylor, who he beat on points, and Jordan Grant, who he beat on points. I should also note he did fight recently-ish on the undercard of a Floyd Mayweather fight. That was an exhibition and it didn't count towards the record because Tommy Fury missed weight. So the original opponent he didn't fight. Going on to Jake Paul, his last 3 is Tyrone Woodley, who he fought twice. The first time he fought him, he won on points, and the second time he knocked him out in round 6. And his last fight was against Anderson Silva, who he beat by points. So Jake Paul is 6-0 with 4 knockouts. This fight coming up will be over 8 rounds. One thing to note, in the contract, Jake Paul does have a rematch clause if he should lose. Tommy Fury doesn't. So this fight has finally happened. Originally it was scheduled for December 2021. It didn't happen because Tommy Fury had a broken rib and an infection. It then got rescheduled for August of last year. The fight again didn't happen because Tommy Fury couldn't get into the United States, and that's where it was supposed to happen. I am not going to lie to my viewers and my subscribers and pretend to you that I'm comfortable with this fight, because I'm not. It's just another layer to the kind of freak show and circus that boxing has become. However, it's not as bad as some of the things we've had. It's not as bad as Floyd Mayweather versus Deji, for example, or some of the absolute terrible clown shows you get on DAZN at the moment with these YouTubers fighting each other. Tommy Fury, the big thing coming into this is that Tommy Fury will be the first fight that Jake Paul's fought that's perceived as an actual boxer. He's perceived as an actual boxer because, firstly, he's been doing this since he was a lad. He said that in many interviews, obviously part of the Fury family. And the second reason is he is Tyson Fury's brother. Tyson Fury, obviously the WBC heavyweight champion of the world, one of, if not the best heavyweights at the moment. But to me, that doesn't qualify Tommy Fury to be called, a legit boxer. He's 8-0. Is he 8-0? Yeah, 8-0, and the level of competition he's fought has been terrible. I mean, don't get me wrong, everyone who's coming up, if you're following the traditional route into boxing, you will fight journeymen, you will fight men that are there to lose, you will fight men with a lot of losses on their record. However, some of the people that Tommy Fury has fought, the record of losses that they have is unbelievable. And the fact that Tommy Fury has not knocked out all of these opponents kind of is an inkling of where Tommy Fury is. I have seen improvements in Tommy Fury, slightly, but nowhere near to label him as a legit, fully fledged boxer. They're both amateur professionals, I suppose you'd call Tommy Fury anyway. As for Jake Paul, it's You know, I don't know offhand all of the people he's fought, but I know there's been a list of YouTubers, basketball players, retired MMA guys, and now Tommy. It's a calculated step by Jake Paul. It makes sense because people that don't watch boxing or understand it will see Tommy Fury, will see that he's 8-0, that he's Tyson Fury's brother, and that if Jake Paul wins, this proves that Jake Paul is destined to be a world champion, or whatever they think, whatever's being sold. And that is not the case. In preparation for this, I've looked back at both men's previous fights to kind of try and get a kind of a feel for both their style and their weaknesses and their strengths. What I've took away from that, and during the whole process actually, I've actually found it really difficult to make this prediction. A lot more difficult than I thought it would. Because they're both quite amateur-y, it's actually difficult. Because there's not a lot to go on either man. Things I've noticed is Tommy Fury is very quick. He's very quick. He's good. He seems to be good at keeping boxers at range. However, I haven't seen any real power from him. Hence his knockout record. I mean, is it four KOs? Yeah, 50% KO ratio. When you're fighting the level of opposition that Tommy Fury has been fighting, isn't great at all. And then for Jake Paul, I think he's got. I can't see any fundamentals there really. You know, when I'm watching his fights, he's very sloppy. He's very open. There's so many things that I've seen where I'm like, well, if he was up against, you know, an actual professional boxer, they would have slipped that punch, countered him, and knocked him down. I don't think his chin looks the greatest. I've seen him wobbled a few times. He's got a good punch. I saw him in his knockout at Tyrone Woodley, who again is not a boxer, but he still knocked him out. And I think he dropped Anderson Silva. But then Anderson Silva, what is he, 100 years old? But he's got a good punch. He's probably got more power than Tommy Fury. I'll give him that. So it's a difficult one. It's a difficult one to predict, but it is going to be a highly viewed fight. So I kind of have to do this prediction. So, like I said, I have gone back and forth on it. But I do have a prediction for this fight. A few things to note before I get to the prediction. One of them, there's a few questions I have. One of them is, how well is Tommy Fury going to deal with this stage? Now, Jake Paul has headed pay-per-views, big crowds, big pay-per-view numbers. He's had that limelight on him. Tommy Fury hasn't. He's been on the undercard of some big fights. I think he was on the undercard of his brother's fight. He was obviously on the Mayweather undercard. But he's never been in the spotlight. It's never been the main event. It's never been all on him. And this fight, do not be mistaken, all the pressure is on Tommy Fury. If Tommy Fury loses, it's bad. It's effectively his very short run boxing career over. He will be resigned to having to fight YouTubers. If he's anywhere near as good as he says he's going to be, or his family says he is, especially his dad, he should be knocking Jake Paul out. So I do question whether that stage and that limelight is going to get to him. But I'm going to give Tommy Fury the benefit of the doubt on that and say that it isn't and that he copes with it. So going into the fight, effectively anything can happen because both of them have so many weaknesses. Either one could drop the other. It could happen. When you have two people that are not sound fundamentally, it's easy enough for one to catch the other. But my prediction for this fight is over 8 rounds. My prediction is going to be Tommy Fury to win on points. I did toy with the idea of a draw because, again, I don't know in this whole Jake World YouTuber world how legit the fights are, because it would make sense to me from a business point of view that this would be a draw because it helps both men. But I'm going to assume it isn't a fix or anything like that, and I'm going to predict Tommy Fury to win on points. And then obviously have their rematch. I'm predicting this because I think Tommy Fury, although he lacks fundamentals, he's good enough to outbox Jake Paul. There's rounds and rounds and rounds I've seen of these Jake Paul fights where he's getting outboxed by MMA fighters. Anderson Silva and Tyrone Woodley, 2 examples. So that makes me think surely Tommy Fury can. I also think Tommy Fury's kind of cute and clever enough not to get knocked down by Jake Paul. I'm going against the bookies with this. I think they have Jake Paul as the favourite, but I just don't think Jake Paul has it in him to knock down Tommy Fury. Could be wrong, but I don't. And I don't think he can outbox Tommy Fury. He's not good enough. He's not. Although Tommy Fury is not a great boxer, he has more skills and fundamentals than Jake Paul does. So if this fight's legit, there's no funny business, and because it will be a big event, and the big event does not get to Tommy Fury, then I'm predicting Tommy Fury to win on points. Do let me know in the comments below if you care about this fight. If you do, and you're going to watch it, who are you picking? Are you picking Tommy Fury, or are you picking Jake Paul? Or are you picking the draw, which I think is quite low as well? Do let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and I shall see you in the next video.